Hey Ragelings and Yeouschers, this is Saxicall, and we're playing Painkiller today. A bloody little title on the PC, developed around 2004 by the Polish company People Can Fly. Headshot this guy, headshot this one, wall pin. Let's make it rain. And this is a classic first-person shooter in the vein of Duke Nukem and Serious Sam and Duke. In that it sends wave after wave of enemies at you, and you just have to blow them away. Just shower of blood, violence. Just one of my favorite kinds of games. And it kind of makes me think about, you know, games today, they tend to be more focused on the cinematics, and while they do try to tell a story, they spend way too much time on the story, and they forget to really focus on the gameplay. So you end up playing basically like an 8-hour movie, which, you know, certain games can do it fine, like Heavy Rain, for example. Whereas other games, there's just no balance between the cinematics and the gameplay. So all you really end up doing is just, you know, hitting a couple of buttons every now and then, waiting for, you know, the movie to end, and then going straight back into the, you know, 5 seconds of gameplay. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good story as much as anybody else. One of my favorite games is Half-Life, which is a game that strikes that perfect balance between gameplay and story, where you still have a decent, solid first-person shooter, but there's an engaging story that drives the action home. So every time you're going through a section, you want to find out more about what's going on. Games like Painkiller right here, it's not about the story, there is one. I mean, it's all about the action, it's all about the violence, and this is what games in the 90s were like. You know, I've done a couple videos with Blood, Turok, there are other big ones too, obviously Doom, Wolfenstein. Those were all games that were defined by their gameplay, and the story was minimal because, I mean, obviously you don't have a lot of space to save all that data, all those cinematics, so you gotta really push everything together into the manual and then focus the rest of the game on, you know, the game. And games today, because the storage size is so large, you can do anything with it. But that's the problem, you do everything with it. But I'm getting off track, I should talk about this game, Painkiller. Now the story in Painkiller is you follow Daniel Gardner, who dies accidentally in a car crash with his wife. Now, his wife is sent to heaven, and he's sent to purgatory. He is then tasked with killing Satan's generals and Satan himself in order to stop a war on heaven. So, that's literally all that this game has in terms of story. But it works for the game because it doesn't need anything else to carry it through. It's simple, fairly straightforward, and just a moment here. Buckshot Special! Now, also think about Painkiller is that it's such a diverse game in terms of its art direction. You've got 5 stages with 5 levels each, and each level is different with different enemies. So there's a different theme, like there's an asylum level with, you know, straitjacket enemies, you got this level which is a prison, and obviously all these guys are designed around like prisoners and all that. So, holy crap. Oh god, explosions everywhere. Now you'll notice that a lot of times I'm hopping around. The fastest way to move in this game is to do this, and I'm not sure exactly what they called it, but it basically is your method of running in the game. The more you jump, the faster you move. It's a very intricate mechanic that, if done right, you can actually avoid bullets being fired by these guys. These guys, they are like pinpoint accurate when it comes to their firing, so it's really, really vital to use. Now, I'm using the Painkiller at the moment, which is basically a rotating blade on a, I guess it's a scepter, you would call it. And it's the, you know, it's the titular weapon for the game. Now, it's got a couple of firing modes like that, where you can actually launch out a projectile, which will grab an enemy and fling them. And its primary mode is the spinning rotating blades, spinning rotating being redundant, that basically chops up enemies at point-blank range. Other mode is exactly the same. You fire out the projectile, but if it catches on a ceiling, wall, or other surface, it can... shit. Let's try this again. If you catch it on a surface and aim at it, you get a beam of light which will cause damage to the enemy over time. So there's 3 different ways that you can kill enemies with this weapon. Now you got other weapons like the shotgun, you got machine guns, you got explosives. Every weapon's got an alt fire. The shotgun's alt fire happens to be a freezing weapon that actually is extremely helpful later on in the game. If you guys are fighting each other. Not anymore. But I mean, there's a lot of variety to this game, not just in its, you know, art direction, obviously, but its weaponry. And son of a bitch. So this is why I love playing this game, because, you know, as I've mentioned before, and I'm trying not to get back on track with that thought too much, is all these other games, you know, there's such an emphasis on the cinematics and taking you away from playing the game, whereas games like this, you're playing the game all the way through. It doesn't take you away, it doesn't take away your control, it doesn't remove your interactivity. I like cinematics, and there have been some amazing ones. Stuff like the intro to Onimusha 3, just about anything in the Metal Gear games. But after a while, it becomes bloated and overbearing. But, I wish more games would take the approach of cut out some of the cutscenes, make the game about playing the game, make it fun. I don't mind a cinematic game now and then, but when every single freaking game just becomes, you know, tap X, if I'm going to do that, I'll just play the Dynasty Warriors game. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There'll definitely be more to come. And, safe to jump down yet? No, it's not! No, it's not! Ah! Tell my PS3 I love it.